curls up in a quick and easy row. Laces tied and bows before my brain could even know. Everything my hands went for came neatly to the grip. Mornings got me fluent and I'm not about to slip. Fingers doing needlework without a single snag. Quick before the heavy hours arrive to make me lag. Light and fast and certain, every motion finding true. Zipper, latch and shoelace all agreeing to come through. Fumbling took the morning off and left me to the deft. Nothing sticks or tangles and there's nothing getting left. Cracked an egg one-handed and it didn't leave a shell. Caught the falling spoon before it clattered where it fell. Keys came to my fingers like they knew which one to be. Quickest kind of morning and it's making room for me. Hands are little dancers and they haven't missed a mark. Quick as any swallow cutting corners in the park. Light and fast and certain, every motion finding true. Zipper, latch and shoelace all agreeing to come through. Fumbling took the morning off and left me to the deft. Nothing sticks or tangles and there's nothing getting left. Later it'll thicken all the choices and the weight. Right now it's just easy and I'm sailing through the gate. Light and fast and certain, every motion finding true. Zipper, latch and shoelace all agreeing to come through. Fumbling took the morning off and left me to the deft. Nothing sticks or tangles and there's nothing getting left. Everything I reach for comes up willing to my hand. Nimble as the morning and unplanned. Out past the fence line where the grass is silver wet. Something small went up on a determined little jet. Climbing as it sang and singing as it climbed. Higher every phrase like the whole thing was designed. Nobody to sing for but the acres in the air. Threads a rising melody like nothing else is there. Up above the Timothy, it pours its bright report. Song that climbs a ladder, it is building on the spot. Every note's a rung, it lays to get a little higher. Whole field wakes to something with the throat of copper wire. Fence or post was its runway and the updraft did the rest. Flung itself at nothing with the music in its chest. Sun came up to meet it and they rose the two together. Best along the prairies gotten lighter than a feather. Nobody arranged it and it never once rehearsed. Bursting like the daybreak, couldn't hold it back at first. Up above the Timothy, it pours its bright report. Song that climbs a ladder, it is building on the spot. Every note's a rung, it lays to get a little higher. Whole field wakes to something with the throat of copper faucet's running colder than the promise of the clock. Cupped it in my hands before my brain could talk. Held it for a second like I might just change my mind. Then I let the whole thing hit and left the sleep behind. Bracing for the shock of it, the winds before the wake. Best kind of a favor that a morning never makes. Water off the counter and the world comes into view. Every drowsy corner getting rinsed and running through. Colder than I wanted and exactly what I need. One clean gasp but nothing and I'm suddenly agreed. Towels on the hook but I just let it drip a while. Runnels down my collar drawing wide awake a smile. Mirror's got a stranger who is quickly turning me pinker at the cheekbone, present as can be. Bracing for the sting of it, the flinch that turns the key. Best alarm I own and it comes free. Water off the counter and the world comes into view. Every drowsy corner getting rinsed and running through. Colder than I wanted and exactly what I need. One clean gasp of nothing and I'm suddenly agreed. No caffeine, no shouting, just a handful off the tap. Cheaper than an engine and it closes every gap. Water off the counter and the world comes into view. Every drowsy corner getting rinsed and running through. Colder than I wanted and exactly what I need. One clean gasp but nothing and I'm suddenly agreed. Shake it off my fingers, blink, the last have gone. Cold said, here's your morning, and I'm on it. Something in me flicked a switch a minute before 6. Eyes came open, honest, with no drowsy left to fix. Ceiling's doing nothing, but I'm reading it like news. Sharper than the alarm that never got to choose. No slow climb from under, no negotiate, no plead. Straight from off to on and I'm already up to speed. Sudden as a lamp that someone clapped across the room. Every sleepy cobweb swept out of the gloom. Not a single yawn to broker on the way. Present at the doorway of a barely open day. Heard the fridge go quiet, heard the first car pass the drive. Counting all the ordinary proofs that I'm alive. Feet are on the floorboards while the pillows still surprise. Beat the buzzing plastic and I did it with my eyes. No fumbling for the snooze, no bargaining for more. Something clean just opened like a well-oiled door. Sudden as a lamp that someone clapped across the room. Every sleepy cobweb swept out of the gloom. Not a single yawn to broker on the way. Present at the doorway of a barely open day. Nobody deserves it, being this on at the start. But the switch went and threw itself. So here's the jump start heart. Sudden as a lamp that someone clapped across the room. Every sleepy cobweb swept out of the gloom. Not a single yawn to broker on the way. Present at the doorway of a barely open day. 6 o'clock and find me already at the sill. Awake before it asked me to, and willing still. cold. Left it in the fridge to do the slow thing that I'm told. Woke in there, it waited, dark and patient as a well. 12 hours in the quiet turned to something I could sell. No hurry and no kettle, no impatient little steam. Just a jar that kept its promise through a night of nothing dream. Pour it over ice and watch the ribbons come alive. Bitter got so mellow while I let the whole thing thrive. Slow, it's kind of magic, doesn't need me standing near. Patience made a picture and it handed me the clear. Spiral through the brown. Best thing on the counter and I barely put it down. No rushing what was steeping while I slept and turned and dreamed. Morning cashed a favor that the midnight me redeemed. Pour it over ice and watch the ribbons come alive. Bitter got so mellow while I let the whole thing thrive. Slow is kind of magic, doesn't need me standing near. Patience made a picture and it handed me the clear. Funny how the waiting was a thing I did asleep. Wound up with a reservoir that's mine to slowly keep. Come alive. Bitter got so mellow while I let the whole thing thrive. Slow is kind of magic, doesn't need me standing near. Patience made a picture and it handed me the clear. Ice cubes clicking softly as the level starts to fall. Overnight I made this best of all. A sparrow cleared its throat and blew the whole thing's poise. One became a dozen, became everybody's turn. Loudest thing for free before the streetlights learn. Nobody bought a ticket and there isn't any stage. Just the whole tree tuning up to fill the earliest page. Racket in the branches that the sleepers never hear. Feathered little riot making morning good and clear. Every beak's a soloist, that's certain it's the best. Concert for the ones who left the pillow and the rest. Robin's got the melody, a wren has got the trill. Somewhere a wood pigeon keeps a bass line soft and still. Not a note for money, and not aimed at anyone. Just the daily bragging that they beat the lazy sun. Nobody's conducting and it never sounds rehearsed. Loudest at the moment when the gray is at its worst. Racket in the branches that the sleepers never hear. Feathered little riot making morning good and clear. Every beak's a soloist, that's certain it's the best. Concert for the ones who left the pillow and the rest. By the time the coffee's poured, it's thinning to a few. Caught the whole cathedral of it, me and morning dew. never hear. Feathered little riot, making morning good and clear. Every beat's a soloist, that's certain. It's the best concert for the ones who left the pillow and the rest. Last one on a wire, and then it lifts and it's gone. Whole choir folded up before the day came on. Folded at the table like a shirt left in a heap. Then the first warm swallow reached the muscles still asleep. Shoulders found the memory of standing at their best. Chin came off my collarbone and quit its slouchy rest. Somewhere a small engine that had idled overnight turned its key and climbed up from a stall into the bright. Sit up, straighten something, and the fog begins to lift. Every drowsy setting getting nudged into a shift. Ears go up like terriers who caught a distant sound. Yesterday's a puddle and I'm stepping off the ground. Kettle's ticking cooler and the mug is nearly through. Two more careful mouthfuls and the whole of me came to. Fingers found their quickness, feet remembered how to tap. Morning closed the drowsy and it didn't leave a gap. Somewhere a small pilot light that guttered in the night caught a breath and steadied to a tall and even light. Sit up, straighten something, and the fog begins to lift. Every drowsy setting getting nudged into a shift. Ears go up like terriers who caught a distant sound. Yesterday's a puddle and I'm stepping off the ground. Doesn't take a mountain, doesn't take a marching band. Just a warm and bitter little nudge to help me stand. And the fog begins to lift. Every drowsy setting getting nudged into a shift. Ears go up like terriers who caught a distant sound. Yesterday's a puddle and I'm stepping off the ground. Cups an empty circle and the slump is off my back. Perked up like a garden on the attack. Struts around the hen house like his opinion's big. Doesn't care I'm sleeping, doesn't care about the hour. Fills his little lungs and lets it echo off the tower. No snooze button on him and no volume you can turn. Loudest kind of clockwork that a body ever earned. Crowing at the fence line like he's calling out the moon. Bossing all the shadows to be packing up and soon. Can't negotiate a minute, can't pretend I didn't hear. Feathered little tyrant makes the lazy disappear. I have cursed him plenty from beneath a squashed down sheet. Then I'm up and at the window and the air is honest sweet. He's already strutting like he won some ancient war. Truth is I'd have slept clean through the thing I'm grateful for. No app can imitate him and no gadget sounds the same. Ancient as a daybreak and he does it just for fame. disappear. One day I'll be thankful for the racket at the gate. Might as well be now. He's never once been late. Line like he's calling out the moon, bossing all the shadows to be packing up and soon. Can't negotiate a minute, can't pretend I didn't hear. Feathered little tyrant makes the lazy disappear. Off he struts to breakfast with his morning duty done. Up because he said so, here comes one. Somebody's been erasing while I slept the night away. Woke to find the board wiped down and nothing left to say. Yesterday's equations, all the crossed out and the wrong, gone to dust and eraser in the empties where I belong. No smudge of who I flubbed at, no reminder in the tray. Just a green and open, nothing waiting on the day. Blank enough to draw a better version of the plan, chalk in hand, and nobody to tell me that I can't. Yesterday got wiped away by someone kind of night. Whole board's mind feeling it is beautifully white. Dust is on my knuckles from the morning's first big line. Squeaky little promise that the day is going fine. Nobody's kept score of what I flunked or what I missed. Sponge went round the whole of it and left an open list. No red ink in the corner, no old grade in the way. Just the give of empty green that's asking me to play. Blank enough to draw a better version of the plan, shark in hand, and nobody to tell me that I can't. Yesterday got wiped away by someone kind of night. Whole board's mind feeling it is beautifully white. Doesn't mean forgetting, just me starting from the top. Every night's a wet sponge and it gives the chalk a stop. Blank enough to draw a better version of the plan, chalk in hand, and nobody to tell me that I can't. Yesterday got wiped away by someone kind of night. Whole board's mind feeling it is beautifully white. First mark of the morning, and it's mine to get it right. Somebody wiped it clean, and it's bright. Slices on a cutting board as green as garden hose. Cold from the crisper drawer right down to my toes. Crunch that's mostly water with a whisper of a taste. Coolest thing I own and not a bit of it a waste. Nothing's getting under it, no fluster and no sweat. Calmest little vegetable I think I've ever met. Cool as the shady side of everything today. Nothing's gonna wilt me or get in my way. Crisp against the morning like a window left ajar. Unbothered and watery and cooler than they are. 2 rounds on my fret and fat. Ribbon of the peel comes off in one unhurried curl. Fresh is kinda nothing for the morning of a girl. Nothing's getting hot with me, no simmer and no stew. Crispest little attitude and mostly made of dew. Cool as the shady side of everything today. Nothing's gonna wilt me or get in my way. Crisp against the morning like a window left ajar. Unbothered and watery and cooler than they are. He can have the afternoon, can argue and can boil. I'll be here uncrumpled like a leaf that won't recoil. Side of everything today. Nothing's gonna wilt me or get in my way. Crisp against the morning like a window left ajar. Unbothered and watery and cooler than they are. Last cold slice and then the board is bare. Cool, clean through, not a single care. Something cold and rubbery arrives against my cheek. Punctual and certain as a calendar's own beak. Doesn't read the clock and doesn't care. I stayed up late, nudges at my elbow like the morning cannot wait. No alarm this gentle and no bully quite this sweet. Two brown eyes insisting that I get up on my feet. Damn little compass pushing softly at my chin. Won't take no for breakfast and it always, always wins. Tails a metronome already ticking out the plan. Love to wait by someone with a leash and half a plan. Paws upon the mattress and aside it means let's go. Whole day out the window that he doesn't wanna blow. I'd have slept till noon inside a heavy curtains keep, but a chilly button of a nose won't let me sleep. No off switch on devotion and no snoozing on a friend. Get me vertical and grinning at the doggy end. Damn little compass pushing softly at my chin. Won't take no for breakfast and it always, always wins. Tails a metronome already ticking out the plan. Love to wait by someone with a leash and half a plan. He has never once been sad about the hour of 5. Best thing in the morning is a thing that's this alive. Damn little compass pushing softly at my chin. Won't take no for breakfast and it always, always wins. Tails a metronome already ticking out the plan. Love to wait by someone with a leash and half a plan. Leashes in his mouth and there's the whimper at the door. Up because he loves me, out for more. Warm was a country I did not want to leave. Duvet like a marshmallow I'd stitched onto my sleeve. Knew the only cure was one committed brew fling. So I grabbed the corner and I flung the cozy thing. Cold rushed in to meet me like a bucket at the door. Worst part's always over in the second, maybe 4. Air against the ankles is a slap that says begin. Nowhere left to burrow and no cozy to be in. Bravest thing I do all day is done at 6:10. Straight to the leap. No half-measure mercy for the person made of sleep. Goosebumps are a uniform, I wear them like a badge. Colder than I choose, but it's the only bridge I have. Cold's a kinda honest that the blanket never tells. Rings me like the clapper on a run of tiny bells. Air against the ankles is a slap that says begin. Nowhere left to burrow and no cozy to be in. Bravest thing I do all day is done at 6:10. Traded 20 toasty for a morning I can fix. 2 seconds of regret and then the whole thing turns around. Never once been sorry that I gave up lying down. Is a slap that says begin. Nowhere left to burrow and no cozy to be in. Bravest thing I do all day is done at 6:10. Traded 20 toasty for a morning I can fix. Blankets on the floor and I am standing wide and new. Through the warm away on purpose, through and through. Of something sour by mistake. Whole face did a jumping jack it didn't mean to make. Eyes went wide as saucers and my scalp began to sing. Nobody expects a Tuesday to arrive with such a sting. Little bolt of citrus running laps around my head. Better than the second cup and cheaper too, it said. Sharp across the tongue and up the back behind the ear. Everything switched on at once and startlingly clear. Puckered into waking by a bright electric thing. Nothing dull survives the sudden marvelous ping. Grapefruit for the daring, lemon for the brave of heart. Half a sour second and the sleepy falls apart. Tingled down the arms like I grabbed a friendly wire. Morning lit a match and I'm the kindling and the fire. Little jolt of yellow doing cartwheels through my veins. Wakes me up much faster than the drumming of the rain. Sharp across the tongue and up the back behind the ear. Everything switched on at once and startlingly clear. Puckered into waking by a bright electric thing. Nothing dull survives the sudden marvelous ping. Doesn't last forever. That's the beauty of the buzz. Grab another bright one, be the live wire that it does. Sharp across the tongue and up the back behind the ear. Everything switched on at once and startlingly clear. Puckered into waking by a bright electric thing. Nothing dull survives the sudden marvelous ping. Shiver down the spine and then a grin I can't unspring. Startled into morning by a zing. That crackle when they meet. Held the cold glass to my forehead in the kitchen's early heat. First long careful swallow and it travels like a map down the sleepy middle, closing every foggy gap. Nothing in it, nothing added, honest and it's plain. Cold is kinda nothing, running clarity through my brain. Down it goes and something in my thinking comes in true. Rinsing all the cotton that the night had stuffed me through. Simplest thing to reach for and it never lets me down. Clear enough to see the whole of morning coming round. Coming round. Condensation's beating up and running down my wrist. Cubes go clicking cheerfully like something I had missed. Not a drop of sugar and not a whisper of a flavor, just the plain cold truth of it. A small and perfect favor, nothing to it, nothing but the shiver and the through. Coldest little sermon and it only preaches new. Down it goes and something in my thinking comes in true. Rinsing all the cotton that the night had stuffed me through. Simplest thing to reach for and it never lets me down. Clear enough to see the whole of morning coming round. Everybody reaches for the coffee and the buzz. I'll be here with clarity and all the good it does. Down it goes and something in my thinking comes in true. Rinsing all the cotton that the night had stuffed me through. Simplest thing to reach for and it never lets me down. Clear enough to see the whole of morning coming round. Last cold gulp and set the empty glass to shine. Poured the morning clear in mine. Everybody's grumbling at the elevator wall. I'm the one who's whistling and it's bothering them all. Said good morning twice to folks who hadn't found their face. Guilty of the sunshine at an unforgivable pace. Can't help it if the early got its hooks in me today. Cheerful as a kettle that just cannot look away. Bright before it's decent and I know it's kinda rude. Humming down the hallway in a wide awake mood. Everyone's a storm cloud and I'm ruining the gray. Sorry, not sorry, I've been up since break of day. Held the door and beamed at someone hunting for their keys. Got a squint of protest and a grumble on the breeze. Offered up a muffin and a fact about the birds. They just want their coffee, not my avalanche of words. Can't dial down the morning when it's fizzing in my chest. Perky as a puppy that has clearly had its rest. Right before it's decent and I know it's kinda rude. Humming down the hallway in a wide awake mood. Everyone's a storm cloud and I'm ruining the gray. Sorry, not sorry, I've been up since break of day. One day I'll be tired and I'll grumble with the pack. Till then, I'm the whistler and I'm not toning back. Right before it's decent and I know it's kinda rude. Humming down the hallway in a wide awake mood. Everyone's a storm cloud and I'm ruining been up since break of day. Elevator opens, and I bounce into the light. Chipper past the point of shame. Alright. Stepped onto the stoop before the block had cleared his throat. Air was doing that thing where it's a crisp and pointed note. Filled me to the corners that the indoors never reach. Bottom of the breathing where the fresh begins to teach. Held it for a moment like a swimmer at the rail. Cold and clean and plentiful, a wide and welcome gale. One enormous breath and half the tire blows away. Ribs go wide as barn doors on the freshest kind of day. Nothing in it costs a thing, and all of it is mine. Filled up to the collarbone with cold that tastes like pine. Neighbors' chimneys going, and there's wood smoke in the mix. Frost along the railing that the early sun will fix. Took another greedy one and let it fill the well. Cheaper than a vacation, and it works out just as well. Blew it out in clouds that hung and drifted toward the gate. Emptied out the still of me and filled it up first rate. One enormous breath and half the tide blows away. Ribs go wide as barn doors on the freshest kind of day. Nothing in it costs a thing, and all of it is mine. Filled up to the collarbone with cold that tastes like pine. Doesn't take a mountain top, a canyon, or a shore. Just a door, a cold, and lungs that want a little more. One enormous breath and half the tide blows away. Ribs go wide as barn doors on the freshest kind of day. Nothing in it costs a thing, and all of it is mine. Filled up to the collarbone with cold that tastes like pine. One more at the threshold, then I'm buttoned up to go. Took the morning in one breath, a glow. Yeah. Yesterday was frozen with a dozen windows stuck, spinning little wheel of everything that ran amok. Held the button down on it and let the whole thing rest. Woke up to a fresh screen and a cleared out, quiet chest. No error in the corner, no reminder of the crash. Overnight it flushed the whole ridiculous backlash. Boots up clean and humming with the clutter swept away. Every frozen tab from yesterday has closed today. Cursors blinking ready on a desktop wide and new. Nothing's running slow because the sleep pushed it through. light and empty as a hallway newly swept. Turns out all it needed was the shutdown that I kept. No spinning wheel of waiting, no old error left to nag. Morning did the update and it didn't even lag. Boots up clean and humming with the clutter swept away. Every frozen tab from yesterday has closed today. Cursors blinking ready on a desktop wide and new. Nothing's running slow because the sleep pushed it through. Didn't lose the good stuff, just the jams and just the freeze. Overnight's a restart and it works like a breeze. Swept away. Every frozen top from yesterday has closed today. Cursors blinking ready on a desktop wide and new. Nothing's running slow because the sleep pushed it through. Green light on the power and the whole thing's running true. Rebooted in the dark and new. Stone bowl in the garden caught the melt and caught the rain. Sparrows found it early and they're at it once again. Flinging little diamonds with a shudder and a dip. Nobody invited them, they just decided to skip. Splashing like it's payday, like the water's going out. Rowdyest baptism that a morning's all about. Wings go flicking silver in the shallow of the dish. Every drop a tiny loud ridiculous wish. Fluffing up and shaking till they're twice their proper size. Racket the size of thimbles under wide and watching skies. One's a little tyrant who has claimed the middle spot. Two more wait their turn on the geranium pot. Then they trade like children in a sprinkler on the lawn. Whole thing's over quick and then the little crowd is gone. Bathing like it matters, like they're dressing for a ball. Tiniest commotion and the best one of them all. Wings go flicking silver in the shallow of the dish. Every drop a tiny loud ridiculous wish. Fluffing up and shaking till they're twice their proper size. Racket the size of thimbles under wide and watching skies. I just watch and drip my coffee, quiet as the wall. Learning how to fling myself completely at it all. Wings go flicking silver in the shallow of the dish. Every drop a tiny loud ridiculous wish. Fluffing up and shaking till they're twice their proper size. Racket the size of thimbles under wide and watching skies. Last one shakes it dry and lifts off from the rim. Left the water rocking, morning trim. Swung my legs to sitting and I reached out for my feet. Everything from heel to hip announced the night's defeat. Vertebrae went and popping like a strip of bubble wrap. Longest kind of yawn that starts below the kneecap. Reaching for the far shore of a body still asleep. Pulling out the stiffness that the pillow tried to keep. Folding half and something in the hamstrings comes alive. Every rusty hinge remembers how it used to drive. Reach until the fingertips have said hello to floor. Longer than I was last night and readier for more. Arms go up to catch a ceiling that I cannot touch. Then a twist that finds the corner sleep had gripped too much. Calf gives up a knot it had been holding overnight. Muscle by muscle, the whole of me turns bright. Reaching for the last edge of the stiffness and the ache. Every careful pull's a little door I get to make. Folded half and something in the hamstrings comes alive. Every rusty hinge remembers how it used to drive. Reach until the fingertips have said hello to floor. Longer than I was last night and readier for more. Cat does it, dog does it, everybody knows. Best hello a body says is one that finds its toes. Folded half and something in the hamstrings comes alive. Oh, every rusty hinge remembers how it used to drive. Reach until the fingertips have said hello to floor. Longer than I was last night and readier for more. Stand up tall and taller with the night wrung out and gone. Reach down deep and woke it up and on. Feet were on the floorboards, and already they were sure. Didn't stop for standing, high. Hardest step's the first one, so I didn't let it land. Kept it all in motion, and it turned out kinda grand. Off before my brain had time to lodge a complaint. Halfway down the sidewalk while the coffee still faint. Momentum's a magician who just feeds its own supply. Once the feet are moving, they forget to ask me why. Black already blurring, and the day is on the run. I've been gone before it started, done. Yeah, bathroom mirror steamed itself into a milky ghost. Couldn't find my own face in the fog I needed most. Grabbed the little rubber blade and pulled a single lane. Sudden strip of clarity came shining through the rain. One clean pass and half of me arrives inside the glass. Everything that blurred me getting shoved off to the past. Draw it down and there's a stripe where all the world comes back. Fog gives up its hiding to a single rubber track. Blurry was a phase and it just takes a steady hand. Wipe it once and morning suddenly a thing I understand. Window on the streetcar wore a breath of gray all night. Cuff against the pane and there's the city sharp and bright. Amazing how the muddle only wanted one good sweep. Clear enough to count the pigeons waking from their sleep. One firm stroke and yesterday's condensing slides away. Leaves a squeaky avenue for looking at the day. Draw it down and there's a stripe where all the world comes back. Fog gives up its hiding to a single rubber track. Blurry was a phase and it just takes a steady hand. Wipe it once and morning suddenly a thing I understand. Not a bit of magic, just a blade and just a pull. Funny how the cloudiest was mostly cleanable. Draw it down and there's a stripe where all the world comes back. Fog gives up its hiding to a single rubber track. Blurry was a phase and it just takes a steady hand. Wipe it once and morning suddenly a thing I understand. Last long stripe and there's the whole of me awake. Wipe the morning see through, no mistake. Poured it to the brim and heard the crackle start to talk. Little golden rafts that bob and jostle round the walk. Cold milk hit the bottom and the whole thing came alive, snapping like a campfire at the 1/4 forever in the corner of the meal. Chase the last few floaters as they hit around the rim. Tipped the bowl and drank the pink right up along the brim. Cartoon on the cardboard box propped up against the wall. Simplest breakfast going and it never lets me fall. Spoon against the china is a little morning song. Nothing to it, everything and never very long. Crunch and hush and crunch again, a breakfast made of sound. Sweetest little racket that a kitchen's ever found. Milk goes pale and sugary, the finish and the steel. 9 years old forever in the corner of the meal. Grown-up food can wait a while, the toast and all the rest. Bowl of snap and crackle is the childhood I do best. Crunch and hush and crunch again, a breakfast made of sound. Sweetest little racket that a kitchen's ever found. Milk goes pale and sugary, the finish and the steel. 9 years old forever in the corner of the meal. Last pink spoonful and the box goes back up on the shelf. Started simple, sweet, and like myself. Set it on the burner and it started up a hum. Little glass knob waiting for the color it'll become. First it's only water doing nothing I can see. Then a burst of brown says something's happening to me. Pop and then a pause and then a pop that's coming quicker. Whole kitchen filling up with the anticipation's flicker. Bloom goes in the little dome of brown that keeps on climbing, bubbling up a rhythm and it's got impeccable timing. Nothing you can hurry, it will burble till it's time. Best part's almost better than the cup, the build, the climb. Steam's a friendly rumor curling up around the spout. Smell arise before the tasting calls the whole house out. Knob goes dark and darker as the loop keeps going round. Patience in a percolator's got the finest sound. Poppin' steady now, a gurgle and a sigh. Coffee doing gymnastics in a little glass eye. Bloom goes in the little dome of brown that keeps on climbing, bubbling up a rhythm and it's got impeccable timing. Nothing you can hurry, it will burble till it's time. Best part's almost better than the cup, the build, the climb. Everybody's got a button and a pot and a rush. I'll be here beside the burble in no hurry, in the hush. Bloom goes in the little dome of brown that keeps on climbing, bubbling up a rhythm and it's got impeccable timing. Nothing you can hurry, it will burble till it's time. Best part's almost better than the cup, the build, the climb. Pour it when it's ready, not a second before. Watched it climb the morning, and there's more. Came down all 13 stairs like they were half their usual size. Skipped the creaky 7's one, a spring behind my eyes. Banister went by me, 'cause I barely needed hold. Younger in the knee than any calendar, I'm told. Something in the step of me forgot to feel its years, bouncing like a kid who just got told the fair appears. Light across the floorboards like the gravity forgot. Every joint's a hinge that someone freshly oiled alive. Quick around the corners with a hop I didn't plan. Feet a decade younger than the morning ever ran. Kitchen to the mailbox and I'm practically a deer. Bounces in the arches and it's wonderfully clear. Didn't have my coffee, didn't need it after all. Something in the getting up just answered every call. Something in the spring of me is showing off its youth. Skipping like the sidewalk is a trampoline in truth. Light across the floorboards like the gravity forgot. Every joint's a hinge that someone freshly oiled alive. Quick around the corners with a hop I didn't plan. Feet a decade younger than the morning ever ran. Won't be every morning that the step comes this alive. Cash it while it's springing. Do a little jive. The floorboards like the gravity forgot. Every joint's a hinge that someone freshly oiled alive. Quick around the corners with a hop I didn't plan. Feet a decade younger than the morning ever ran. Down the block and back and I have barely touched the ground. Springy as a morning, newly wound. Jackets on the shoulders and the keys are in the fist. Coffee's in a travel cup and nothing's getting missed. Hand is on the doorknob and the day is on the stoop. Whole thing's been a wind up and here comes the loop. Everything I woke for is arranged and standing by. Nothing left to do but turn the knob and say goodbye. Out into the whole of it, the bright unwritten thing. Sidewalk like a runway, and my feet have got the spring. Morning did its warming up click shut